The first thing the crowd noticed was the red stain spreading across a black woman's uniform like a bruise. The second thing they noticed was the influencer laughing as if humiliation was content. And the third thing, what nobody understood until it was too late, was the way the server's face changed when she saw the necklace at the influencer's throat. Not jealousy, not admiration, recognition. The kind of recognition that makes your stomach drop, because you realize a secret just walked into the room and sat down in front of you. Autumn Clark had been serving tables at the Larkwell rooftop for almost a year, long enough to know that rich people didn't come there for dinner. They came there to be seen. The Larkwell sat on top of a boutique hotel downtown. Glass railings, skyline views, soft amber lighting, and a DJ who played music just loud enough to make conversations feel exclusive. Phones were everywhere, angled at cocktails, angled at sunsets, angled at faces. Everything was a stage. Autumn moved through it like someone who refused to become part of the performance. She was 27, black, tall, composed, with a calm that came from having survived enough moments where showing emotion made you a target. She wore the restaurant's sleek black uniform and a small gold pin that said nothing but caught light when she moved. She did her job well because her job paid her rent and because pride mattered to her even when other people didn't. Tonight was a Friday, which meant the rooftop was packed. A private section had been reserved for a brand event, an influencer celebration dinner for a new luxury skincare line, the kind of dinner where half the guests didn't eat and the other half ate only what looked good on camera. Management had warned the staff, high-profile table, no mistakes, be invisible, smile. Autumn heard the warning and did what she always did. Prepared. She checked the reservation details. She reviewed allergy notes. She noted the host's name, Sloane Hart. Autumn didn't know the influencer personally, but she knew the type. And she knew those tables could go wrong fast because people who live for attention treat service workers like props. The private section glowed with ring lights disguised as decor. Sloane Hart sat in the center like a queen, white, mid-20s, glossy hair, flawless makeup, wearing a silver dress that caught every camera flash. Her phone was propped on a mini tripod pointed at her face. She smiled at her screen more than she smiled at the humans around her. Her friends, mostly white, dressed in coordinated neutrals, laughed too loudly and filmed everything, including each other. Autumn approached with a tray of drinks, sparkling water, cocktails, a bottle of expensive red wine. She moved carefully because the rooftop floor was slightly uneven, and one slip could turn into a spectacle. "Good evening," Autumn said professionally. "Welcome. Before we begin, would you like me to pour the wine now or after your toast?" Sloane didn't look up from her phone. "Just pour," she said, waving a hand, voice bored. Autumn nodded and began pouring into the first glass, controlled and precise. Sloane's friend leaned over, whispering to Sloane, then giggled. Sloane smirked at Autumn without warmth. "Make it cute," she said. Autumn's jaw tightened slightly, but she kept her face neutral. "Of course," she replied. As Autumn tilted the bottle toward the next glass, Sloane suddenly moved her arm, fast and careless, swinging her phone around to get a better angle. Her elbow hit Autumn's forearm. The bottle jerked. Red wine arced through the air and splashed across Autumn's chest, soaking the front of her uniform. For a second, the world froze. Then Sloane laughed. Not an "oh no" laugh, a delighted laugh, like something entertaining had happened. "Oh my God!" Sloane squealed, filming. "That is so—" Her friends erupted into giggles, phones up, capturing Autumn's stained uniform like it was comedy. Autumn stood perfectly still, wine dripping, heat rising in her face. She waited for the apology. It didn't come. Instead, Sloane tilted her phone closer. "Guys, look," she said, laughing. "She's like a walking Merlot." One friend snorted. Another said, "Stop! That's so savage!" and kept filming anyway. Autumn's hands clenched around the bottle. She took one slow breath. She could hear the manager in her head. Smile. Be invisible. But invisibility wasn't protection when someone was making you a joke. Autumn set the bottle down carefully on the table to avoid spilling more. "I'll get a cloth," she said quietly, voice controlled. Sloane waved her hand dismissively. "It's fine," she said. "Just don't drip on the chairs." The cruelty was casual. That's what made it dangerous. Autumn turned slightly to leave, and that's when she saw it clearly. The necklace at Sloane's throat. A delicate chain with a pendant. A small gold compass rose with a tiny chip on the lower point, like it had been scratched years ago. The pendant caught the light as Sloane laughed. Autumn's breath stopped. Her stomach dropped so hard it felt like falling. Because she knew that necklace. She had seen it up close before, not on an influencer, not in a rooftop lounge, but in a small jewelry box lined with faded velvet. She had held it in her palm as a child while her mother cried and said, "This was your grandmother's." Autumn's grandmother had worn that pendant every day. It was not expensive by market standards. It was priceless to their family. It had been stolen 10 years ago during a break-in that left their home ransacked and their sense of safety shattered. The police had taken a report, shrugged, and nothing happened. Her grandmother died 2 years later, still talking about that necklace like it was a piece of her that never came back. Autumn's heart hammered. Her mind raced. This couldn't be it. It couldn't. A lot of jewelry looked similar. But the chip. Autumn remembered that chip. She remembered how her grandmother used to rub her thumb over it absent-mindedly. She remembered because as a kid, Autumn had asked, "Why is it scratched?" And her grandmother had smiled and said, "Because I've been everywhere with it." Autumn stared at the pendant, her body tense with disbelief. Sloane caught her staring and smirked. "You like it?" she asked, tone smug. "It's vintage." Vintage. The word hit like insult. Autumn swallowed. Her voice came out quiet. "Where did you get that?" Sloane blinked, amused. "My jewelry is not your business," she said. One of Sloane's friends laughed. "She wants the necklace," she whispered, loud enough. Autumn felt the old anger flare, being treated like a thief while looking at something that had been stolen from her family. She forced her voice steady. "I'm not asking because I want it," Autumn said quietly. "I'm asking because it looks like my grandmother's." Sloane's smile froze for half a second. Then she laughed again, louder, dismissive. "Sure," she said. "And this whole restaurant is your grandma's too?" The table laughed. Autumn didn't. Her eyes stayed on the pendant. She saw something else now. On the back edge, a tiny engraved mark. 2 letters that formed an old family initials. Autumn couldn't read it from this distance, but she knew it existed. She knew because her grandfather had engraved it. Autumn's throat tightened. She stepped back from the table, forcing herself not to touch it, not to reach, not to give anyone a reason to call her aggressive or accuse her. Instead, she did what she had learned to do in a world that didn't believe black women without proof. She went quiet and got evidence. She turned and walked toward the service station with controlled steps, wine still staining her uniform. Behind her, Sloane's friends kept filming, whispering about drama and the help being weird. Autumn didn't respond. She went straight to the manager's office and knocked once, then entered without waiting. The manager, a white man named Caleb, looked up sharply. "Autumn, what happened?" He saw the stain and frowned like the stain was the problem, not the person who caused it. "A guest spilled," Autumn said quickly. "But that's not why I'm here." Caleb blinked. "What?" Autumn's voice stayed controlled, but urgent. "The influencer at table 12 is wearing a necklace I believe was stolen from my family," she said. Caleb stared. "Autumn, I know how it sounds," she cut in calmly, "but I recognize it. There's a distinctive chip, and it was taken in a burglary. I need you to pull the security footage from when she arrived, and I need someone to stop her from leaving." Caleb's face tightened with discomfort. "That's a serious accusation," he said, already leaning toward disbelief. Autumn's eyes hardened. "It's a serious necklace," she replied. Caleb hesitated. "We can't just—" Autumn exhaled slowly, forcing patience. "Caleb," she said, "she's already filming me and laughing. If she leaves and that necklace disappears, I'll never see it again. Please, pull the footage. Call hotel security. Quietly." Caleb swallowed, conflicted. He didn't want scandal. He didn't want to upset influencers. But he also saw Autumn's face. No drama, no performance, just certainty. He nodded slowly. "Okay," he said. "I'll call security." Autumn nodded. "And get me a clean shirt," she added quietly. Caleb moved fast now, finally taking it seriously. He called hotel security through his desk phone. Voice low. He requested camera review. Autumn stepped into the staff restroom, wiped the wine off her skin, changed into a spare black shirt, and stared at herself in the mirror for a second. Her hands were shaking. She whispered to herself, "Don't mess this up," because she knew what was at stake. Not just jewelry, but the kind of justice her grandmother never got. When she returned to the service station, 2 hotel security officers, both white, stood near the hallway, watching table 12 from a distance. Caleb approached Autumn with a tablet. "We pulled the entry camera," he said. "She came in at 7:18. Autumn leaned in, eyes sharp. On the footage, Sloane entered laughing, greeting people. The necklace was visible, catching the lobby light. Then the camera angle shifted as she turned, and for one frame, the pendant's backside flashed, showing the tiny engraved initials. Autumn's breath caught. "Pause," she said. Caleb paused. Autumn pointed. "Right there," she whispered. The initials matched. Caleb's face went pale. "Oh," he said quietly. Autumn's heart hammered. "That's it," she said. "That's my family's." Caleb swallowed. "What do we do?" Autumn's voice was steady now, sharpened by purpose. "Call police," she said, "and don't let her leave." Caleb nodded quickly and turned to the security officers. They moved toward the private section. The moment Sloane saw security approaching, her smile tightened. She sat up straighter, still filming. "Uh-oh," she laughed to her phone. "Security is coming. This is insane." One officer spoke calmly. "Ma'am, we need you to come with us for a moment." Sloane blinked, offended. "For what?" she snapped. "I'm literally hosting a brand dinner." The officer's voice stayed neutral. "We need to ask about an item you're wearing," he said. Sloane's eyes flicked instantly to Autumn in the distance. Her expression hardened. "This is because of her," she said sharply. "She's trying to steal my necklace." Autumn stepped forward, calm. "I'm trying to identify it," she said. Sloane stood, voice rising. "Do not accuse me," she snapped. Her friends filmed harder, whispering excitedly. "This is crazy," one said. "She's jealous," another muttered. The officer held up a hand. "Ma'am, please cooperate," he said. Sloane's face shifted from outrage to calculation. She glanced toward the exit. Autumn saw it, the decision forming. Sloane reached toward her necklace as if to adjust it, but her fingers moved like she was about to unclasp. Autumn's stomach dropped. "Stop," Autumn said sharply, louder than she intended. Sloane's eyes flashed. "Don't talk to me," she snapped. The officer stepped closer. "Ma'am, keep your hands visible," he ordered. Sloane froze for half a second, then did what entitled people do when they feel cornered. She played victim. "This is harassment," she cried, voice suddenly performative. "You're doing this because I'm famous." Her friends echoed, "Yeah." "This is discrimination." Autumn felt the irony like fire. Discrimination. From the woman who had just laughed at humiliating a black server. Autumn's voice stayed calm. "My grandmother's necklace was stolen," she said. "That pendant has a chip and engraved initials. We have security footage showing it when you entered." Sloane's face tightened. "Fake," she snapped. "Anyone can say anything." Caleb stepped forward with the tablet. "We have video," he said. Sloane's eyes widened slightly as the reality hit. This was no longer social media theater. This was evidence. Police arrived within minutes, 2 officers stepping into the private section, asking questions. Sloane's influencer confidence faltered when she saw real uniforms. "This is ridiculous," she said, voice shaking. "I bought this from a vintage dealer." Autumn nodded once. "Then you won't mind telling them which one?" she said calmly. The officers asked for proof of purchase. Sloane fumbled through her phone, opening apps, scrolling. Her screen wasn't shown to anyone, but her panic was visible. I don't have it right now," she stammered. One officer's voice stayed firm. "We're going to need you to come with us," he said. Sloane's face went pale. "You can't take me," she whispered. "Do you know who I am?" The officer didn't blink. "We know you're wearing property that may be stolen," he replied. Then they asked Autumn for details. Autumn spoke clearly. The year, the burglary report, the initials, the chip. She gave her grandmother's name. She gave her address from back then. She gave everything. Because she had learned that truth needs structure when you're fighting someone with privilege. In the end, they removed the necklace temporarily as evidence, placing it in a bag. Autumn watched it disappear into plastic and felt her throat tighten with grief and relief. Sloane cried, furious. Her friends stopped filming. The brand dinner collapsed into awkward silence. And the next morning, Autumn got a call. The police confirmed the burglary report from 10 years earlier matched the engraving description. The necklace was being returned pending final paperwork. Autumn sat on her bed holding her phone and cried. Not loud, but deep, the way you cry when something lost finally comes home. The good ending wasn't just that an influencer got exposed. It was that a black woman trusted her memory, stayed calm, gathered proof, and reclaimed a piece of her family history that the world had tried to erase.